you guys doing? Mike here from Tires to Go, and today I'm going to inform you about the amazing tools that Tires to Go provide to get the customers what they need. As you know, we have the real same as cash, but we also have Snap financing. We use Snap pretty much to provide the customers the same equipment as they were buying cash on payments. Isn't that amazing? Pretty much what we do, you come indoors, we get you the application right away, we'll get you approved, and we'll get you the safe, affordable tires that you need and pay it off in 3 months. Simple, easy, affordable. Why not come to Tires to Go, where you get the real, same as cash.
At Life's a Beach Realty, we're all about life on the beach. Stunning Panama City Beach and one of the most beautiful properties on the Gulf Coast, Shores of Panama. Radiant, elegant, and spectacular. Steps away from white sugar sand, every room overlooks the turquoise of the Gulf of Mexico. Come in for your tour today. Life's a Beach Realty is your gateway to Shores of Panama, the shores, and a whole lot more.
What's up, sports fans? It's your host, Blake Anthony from Sports Talk49, always shot live on BucsReport.com. Every Tuesday at 3:30, you can find me there. But I'm here today not as Blake Anthony and just as Blake. I need your help. I need your help helping out, reaching out to the community of Tampa Bay and help feeding them by donating whatever you can afford to Feeding Tampa Bay. And any donation you give automatically enters you and a chance to win a XL Pewter Mike Evans jersey. And when you enter that, your name, and I'll get your name and your address and everything in case you win on August 1st. And if you have any questions, you can find me at 49sportstalk@gmail.com, or you can find me at BlakeAnthony49 at Twitter, or BlakeAnthony49 on IG, or you can reach out to me on Bucs Report at any given time, and I will return your message as soon as I can. But it's important that we help out our fellow brothers and sisters and children out there, even though we aren't affected personally. But somebody else you may know, somebody else's brother, sister, or cousin may be affected by this, and you may not know. So any contribution could help out. As always, if you've been following me for all the years I've been doing this, I do charity every year, and today is Feeding Tampa Bay because of the COVID-19 situation, the COVID relief effort that Feeding Tampa Bay is trying to help out. So whatever you can give would be deeply appreciated. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. If you see this advertisement anywhere, that is part of me, and that is part of what we got going on here. Of course, if you have any questions, by all means, reach me at any of those I listed above. And whatever you can give, be deeply appreciated. You don't know who can help out in the future. As always, I appreciate you guys following me for so many years and supporting me. I wouldn't be here without you. I appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys are staying safe out there with your loved ones and your families, and keep fighting the good fight till the cure is found for this terrible virus. Thank you guys, and God bless. And as always, fire those cannons. What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. I said, when you see it's 3:30, when you look at your watch, it's time to pick up your phone and tune in to Sports Talk. It's none other than Blake Anthony live here with Sports Talk 49 live on BucsReport.com every Tuesday at 3:30, giving you all the updated stuff, catching up with stuff, and just talking about recent stuff that's been going on in the world and things like that, and talking to fans and ex-players and things like that, all the stuff that we do here at Bucs Report to try to keep you guys updated and keep your mind off of the pandemic and all the other things that's going on in the world, and try to keep you guys updated for everything's going on, because everybody doesn't have the time to keep up with everything all the time. But with that being said, let's go into status quo. Make sure to check out all the other great shows here on Bucs Report. As you can see here, you can check them all out. I'm not going to read through everybody, but I will go through some of the new shows. Big broadcasting legend, I'm not going to say how many years because he doesn't like it. He's 21 years of age. Mr. Big Al Keck, the Al Keck Show, kicking off today. And this is all shot right here on the Landry Football Network, Mr. Chris Landry. And then you got the Cheap Seats, say that 3 times fast, by Rick Hughes. Then you got the Audible by Joshua Cole Allen. All those new shows are here live on BucsReport.com and Ask Me Anything. But the Tuesday schedules got Ask Me Anything always on Tuesday with Nick Citro at 2 p.m. Of course, Sports Talk 49, 3:30. the A Gap between 7 and 8 p.m. on the YouTube only exclusive. Al Keck Show, of course, 8 to 9. Make sure not to miss that. And, of course, finishing off the night strong with a 3-hour passion is Peter Blake and the Sports Web. Now, I can't do the 3-hour long like Peter. I'll get on there with him every now and then, show some love and get on there, dap him up, via social distancing and things, everything like that. What's going on, Christopher? But I can't I can't do the 3 hours all the time like Peter. So I try to do an hour and a half if it gives. It's going to be running longer than an hour once the season gets going, breaking down tape and things like that and talking to you guys. I love doing that, especially talking to you guys. It's always following, take your time out of your schedule and everything. But, of course, today, let me get to it. We got a very busy schedule today. You know what? And when I see this long list of things, this is the first thing that comes to my mind. See my stunt double? It's my stunt double, right? No, I'm not fretting that I got a long list of things. It's cool. But we're going to talk about the NFL and NFL player agreement, economic proposal, opting out. We'll get into that. 12 rookies tested positive for COVID-19. Jamal Adams trade. Lou Williams, trouble in the bubble. Laurent-David makes 100 list. Should he have? Is it BS? Is it BS that he hasn't been on there previously? We'll talk about that. COVID-19 hits Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Rays, and all Tampa Bay rookies are signed. And I'll get into a couple of these things before I announce this other thing. But of course, we talk about that's the list of things. But first and foremost, let me make sure to get this out the way. The drawing will be August. I'll find the winner August 1st, and we'll show the video of the drawing and who wins, and try to get your contact information. If you do not respond within, I guess, maybe 24 hours, I will move on to the next person and pick the next drawing and give that out to them. But I'm sure most of the people that donated will respond and they'll get that, so I'm not worried about that. But you will get a brand new Mike Evans jersey, XL, for any donations dealt to Feeding Tampa Bay. Any donation, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, any of that. You automatically entered into that, and I'll do the drawing, and I'll gladly mail that out to you guys for being supportive and helping those out in need with this COVID-19 relief effort, because everybody wasn't blessed to not have essential jobs and not lose a job or not lose business and lose hours, et cetera, as much like some other people. So any donation would help out, and I feel like myself, I have an obligation to help out because I am one of those people that weren't affected by it, and and that doesn't mean I should go, oh, whew, lucky me, and just move on. Now I'm trying to help out as much as I can whenever I can. Johnny Dean, yep, we got to Al Keck tonight. We talked about that. But ESPN's Kenny Mayne will be on with Big Al Keck tonight. Check that out and don't miss it. If you do, shame on you. Joe Parker, that was the number one thing that got hit with the Army officer school. Yep. So let's get to status quo here. Well, we already did status quo. We'll talk to the NFL agreement. We'll briefly touch into that. Like I said, I have a week apart from talking to you guys, so sometimes I want to talk about stuff and get caught up for what's going on with everything. So let's get to it. NFL and NFL player agreement agree on economic proposal. Salary cap floor is $175 million. Lowest, meaning the floor, will be for 2021 season. Down $25 million will be spread out between the 3 years. It's a more of an elongated answer, but I'm not going to get into that because that was previously talked about, I know, on the sports web by Peter and everywhere else. If you guys want to know more about it, make sure to hit me up at BlakeAnthony49 on Twitter, and I'll explain more to you. Opt-out option available for high-risk and non-high-risk players, hence what you're seeing now. And we'll get into that. Since that, we'll talk about all those topics. Patriots, Marcus Cannon, opt-out. Dante Hightower, Brandon Bolden. And I got this whole cool list put out by Alex Fleming of all the players opting out for the 2020 season, which is, of course, Chiefs guard Laurent Duvernay, Ravens, DeAnthony Thomas, special teams, DeAnthony Thomas, Seahawks, Chance Warmack, Cowboys, Maurice Maurice Kennedy, Patriots fullback Danny Vitale, ex-Tampa Bay player that we drafted out of Northwestern. Washington defensive end Caleb Brantley, Patriots right tackle, I already said that, Marcus Cannon. Patriots linebacker Dante Hightower, Patriots running back Brandon Bolden, Bears DT Eddie Goldman, Patriots O-lineman Najee Toran, Texans DT Eddie, I can't even pronounce his last name, Vikings defensive tackle Michael Pierce, and Eagles Marcus Goodwin will all be out. And the list is always updating. That's the most of what I got, and that was provided by Alex Fleming of Turf Talk and Know Your Enemy, and all the other great fantasies and flavors and all the great things that he does out of Orlando and for the Tampa Bay area. Hardest working man in show business. Well, he's one of them. So with that going on, of course, that was going to happen with all that, with players having a of course, it was also going to happen with the opt-out option, people being concerned with a lot of newborns, and a lot has been said about Donovan Smith being the only one that hasn't contacted back from his agent via Greg Allman. He's been, I guess, backlashing the fans about that, being bitter for everybody getting on him, talking about opting out and being a pay raise instead of a downgrade and things like that. I mean, and I'm sure Peter will touch into this tonight, and sure will Al. If you're going to opt out, man. Don't sit here and bicker with fans among that. You got to be bigger than that. You can't be childish. If you're going to do it, go ahead and do it. Nobody's going to eat your lunch for it. I think it's just people are getting annoyed that you're trying to troll them, the fact that other players are opting out because of that. So, I mean, it's your life, Donovan Smith, but you're just creating more havoc for yourself, going back and forth with fans and taking cheap shots and things like that, doing that. And then you got the whole – well, that's not even an issue, but Donovan Smith, if you're going to do it, just do it. The 12 rookies tested positive. A lot of people don't know, but it's 12. That was earlier into the camp. And I'm sure you're going to have many more. And then when I said it's COVID-19 touched home in Tampa Bay, i.e. it had to be Keyshawn Vaughn, got hit. I mean, everybody can't be freaking out. You're going to come back. You have all these guys coming back. People are going to test positive. So got to handle it as you projected to handle it. Run through your protocols, whatever the specialists that you hire to look at these things, let them take their guidance and do what they ask them to do within these situations. I see Rick Hughes saying, can Keyshawn Vaughn participate in meetings virtually? I wouldn't think he wouldn't. You can't contract or give out the virus, Rick Hughes, via, like this on Sports Talk49 live on Bucs Report. Just talking about it. So, I mean, you know as well as I do, you're a smart man. Virtually meeting and talking about can only do so much. Being there and taking mental reps, physical reps, I should say, have a different significance than just virtually meeting. I mean, they've been virtually meeting for months now, and I think that kind of gets old. You want to get out there and stretch your legs and get out there and participate in these workouts and get a feel of what Tom Brady and the offense is going to look like with this 12 personnel offense and things like that. So that's something that I'm sure he's looking forward to, and he wants to get out there and meet Tom Brady and work on that. And I'm sure that's something that he wants. I think that's what everybody wants. But hopefully he gets through that and they move on. Speaking of often, I know it's the other sport. This is Sports Talk49. We talk about all sports. Could we get deep dive into Tampa Bay? Lou Williams trouble in the bubble. Ends up going to Atlanta, the hometown of Atlanta, to meet up with a rapper. What was the rapper's name? Jack Harlow. Williams' hometown of Atlanta. They go out for a fine dine dinner at what is it? Fine dine? What top 5-star restaurant? No, Magic City strip club out in Atlanta, one of the legendary strip clubs, and will miss 2 games because he'll be 10-day quarantine for going out and partying with the rapper, and he will miss Lakers game July 30th and the Pelicans game August 1st, serving his 10-game quarantine. Not sure if the league will penalize him or not. Not sure about that, but that's left to be said. And speaking of that, but the reason I bring that up is because NFL has also said if you're putting yourself in high-risk situations, i.e. bars, club, et cetera, and contract the virus, they will deduct pay, and some type of punishment will be enforced in that situation. Not sure if the enforcement is going to be pay or is it going to be missing games? Not sure what that's going to look like by going out doing extracurricular activities that are high risk and putting other people in danger. Not sure what that's going to look like. Not sure if that's finalized, but I believe I saw that on Twitter. So I'll be looking forward to seeing how that turns out, because Roger Goodell is going to have his hands full with this one, if he doesn't have it already with some situation as the way he's handled things in the past between owners and players. So it should be interesting how things will be handled. At any given time, I should have said this earlier, but I'm good now. I got through the preliminary. Phone lines are up. 727-475-1882. We'll take them here and try to get the audio through clearly and everything. We'll try this out, guys. I haven't really tried it on StreamYard. But, of course, if you're just tuning in, I'm Blake Anthony. This is Sports Talk 49 live every Tuesday at 3:30, talking about all the latest things that have happened and all the stuff that's been going on and trying to keep you guys updated and informed. So let me get back to the list here. Jamal Adams trade. Now, that's something I want to talk about. In my opinion, Seattle Seahawks made out. Now, everybody's like, oh, well, you got 2 picks. Well, the Jets kind of had to do it because you had to get rid of. He was becoming a cancer. You're talking about he was doing I'm not going to get in details. He was doing everything possible that he could do to get traded. He wanted out, made it clear he wanted out. The team found a trade partner and got rid of him. I.e., who steps in as always, as they always do, and come through in the clutch and grab great players that'll fit their system? Seattle Seahawks. Pick up the safety after exit of Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas, and they swap out ex-Buccaneer Bradley McDougald in exchange for other 2 first-round picks from Seattle, which doesn't really hurt them because they're always in the playoff contention and the picks are not high. But Seattle does a great job of picking up veteran free agents and drafting players to work in their system and work well in their system. So I don't really think they really will have a problem in that particular field. But in my opinion, Seattle made out like a fat rat because at the end of the day, I said this with the Oakland Raiders and Bears trade. Yes, the Raiders got picks, and everybody was predicting that the Bears were going to finish like with a top 5 pick, which they didn't. They damn near were projected to go to the damn Super Bowl that year with the way the defense was playing with the addition of Khalil Mack. But none of those picks that they used from the Bears thus far have even panned out. Jonathan Abrams, what they thought the DB out of Mississippi State, looks like he's going to wash out the league possibly. And among other draft picks that haven't really lived up to their stellar performance thus far, there's time that still needs to go by. But as I said in the beginning, you pretty much traded a Hall of Fame player for unproven, unpredicted rookies. Granted, everybody loves rookies, something new, but there's no guarantee that any of those players are going to even be a tier below Khalil Mack, let alone be better than Khalil Mack, because Khalil Mack will be in the Hall of Fame. And that's pretty much what you let go in hopes to find somebody adequate or average to fill that position. Or, to fill that status, I should say. So that brings me to Jamal Adams. And the Jets have already done this before. Once with Tampa Bay for a first-round draft pick that they drafted the young cornerback out of Alabama who's no longer in the league currently. That didn't work out. And you're never going to find a player to match Jarrell Revis, the player that you got rid of. So then we get to Jamal Adams. It's the same thing. You trade Jamal Adams. Granted, they had to do it. But at the end of the day, Seattle won because at the end of the day, that's the guy you want at a draft. You want an all-pro player. I'm not going to say he's Hall of Fame status, but you want an all-pro player out of your draft picks. That's a win in Seattle's book. That first round pick. You're not going to pick up a Jamal Adams with that pick in that draft. So, in my opinion, they've won. They've won. They've got their guy. They've bolstered their defense again, which they continue to do so. One of the Griffin brothers and the other corner they always swap in and out. So. I don't see anything wrong with that trade as far as Seattle, as far as giving up 2 first-round draft picks. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want to draft with your picks. That at the end of the day, you want all-pro players. You want Hall of Fame players. That's the whole point why you draft people. So now the Jets are left again after the example I gave the first time. Got to pick a player to be adequate on the team and be serviceable on this team. Serviceable is an understatement because Jamal Adams wasn't just serviceable. He's a damn good DB. So That's up to them now. Ball's in their court. They got to do their due diligence and find the player and figure out. Again, if you're just tuning in every Tuesday at 3:30 live on BucsReport.com, I'm Blake Anthony, and you can tune in and check out all the other great shows live here on Bucs Report. And you got all the other great shows coming today, as I showed previously. I'm not going to bring that back up, but it's there when you want to rewatch. And all those people that are rewatching, glad you guys are checking it out. Make sure you check out all the other shows here. And I'll be on more often once the season gets closer, guys. It's just got a lot of people, a lot of shows here. I don't want to be redundant. I'm talking about the same stuff. I want to give good content to you guys and give you guys 110% of content that I want to put out to you guys. Rick Long, Earl Thomas 2.0, possibly. Damn near close. Earl Thomas was pretty good. Deep half coverage. Jamal Adams is pretty much a linebacker and can play deep coverage. So you're getting pretty good. You're getting a pretty good mix there. So I think that's a pretty good comparison, in my opinion. 12 rookies, we talked about that. Again, phone lines are open, 727-475-1882. If you guys are there and you want to chip in, go ahead. Johnny Dean, what's going on, brother? I see you on there on YouTube. Joe Parker, that was the number one thing that got hit with the Army Officer School. Absolutely. If you don't practice and do your due diligence, can Keyshawn Vaughn participate in meetings virtually? Rick Hughes, we talked about that. Rick Hughes got a great show on here. The Cheap Seats, Jesus. To check him out and support him as well. Rick Hughes, I may be wrong, but I think the team isn't going to hit the field for a couple of weeks. Is that right? The team, as a team, as a total, I believe so. It's pretty much they got to go through all the protocols and everything. I don't know what kind of stages the NFL is going through, like NHL is, as I talked about on my last Tuesday. NHL is in phase 3. What there is going on, and you don't really hear too many COVID breakouts going on with them. So whatever plan they had in place, they are doing what they're supposed to do. And that's all you can do. You make a plan and you execute it. So, Rick, I don't expect the team to be all out there together no time soon. As I said, I think on the Cup of Ray with Ray Kennedy, in my opinion, I believe, because this is how you do it in practice, you bring out positions on position. So you go, let's use an example. Wide receivers, DBs, and you work like that. So wide receivers have somebody to run up against, and the DBs have somebody to defend. You work like that in offense and defensive linemen with a couple running backs to work on blocking schemes and things like that, and you work those kind of groups like that, and you work with the backups or your projected starters and things like that. I think that's how it's going to work, in my opinion. You do it by positional breakdowns. And I guess all the other guys will still do workouts. They'll still do classroom meetings. They'll still do virtual meetings. And all that's going to go down. And a lot of that's not talked about, especially the classroom stuff is going to go down. So there's going to be a lot of talking and stuff, because even the assistants got to catch up with what's going on and get in tune with things like that. Just as much as the players, they got to go on. Misador, man, I miss catching the shows. Being an adult and work sucks. It's okay, Misador. Indiana chapter president. I feel like I'm doing a fraternity and sorority type thing. Reading that out. Excuse me. Chapter president. You can always do the rewatch, man. If you want to call in, brother, 727-475-1882. We're up. We ain't done it in a while, but we're gonna do it. Joe, the Atlanta Falcon fan. I'm your number one fan. Keep going strong, man, and achieve your dreams. I do that every day, Joe. And ain't nobody going to deter me from it, brother. Appreciate the support, even though you are a Falcon fan. Where is that at? Joe made me done lose my train of thought. Jeez Louise. Where we at? Let me get back to my list here. So, yep, Lou Williams. Levante David. Let's talk about that. Levante David. The top 100. And then Pat Donovan. Oh, hold on. Got a call coming in. Calling you live on Sports Talk 49. Who is it? Who are you calling from?
What's going on, Blake? It's Will from Wisconsin. How you been, buddy?
Will, what's going on, man? I'm surviving, hanging out here with the corona.
Man, dude, with the corona, I've been in my house 24/7.
Right.
I haven't left with all my, underlying health conditions. So, I'm curious if we're actually going to get a season, man. Like, with everything that's going on. Like, I just heard that, what was it? The running back we drafted is now on the COVID, whatever list they're calling it, but he had contact with COVID.
Right, and they go on the IR.
Vaughn?
Yep, Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, man, dude, this shit, like, oh, man, my apologies. This stuff is really scary, man. Like, really scary. And with this guy that I follow on YouTube, he's very, very informative with what's going on with the political aspects of, like, the stimulus checks and everything like that, and the virus and everything. And he said the last time that our country has seen something like this was the Spanish flu.
Correct.
And it lasted for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, seriously, can you imagine if COVID-19 lasts for 2 years? Like, Spanish flu lasted for 2 years, but that was in the early 1900s. We didn't have an economy like we do now.
Right.
Our economy would crumble. Might as well be a third world country then. But it's very depressing. It's very scary because there's a lot of us on Bucs Report and fans of Bucs Report that are anxious for a football season. Like me, I love football. I eat, breathe, talk, poop, pee, football. Like, I love my football. And as everybody knows, I'm not a big Tom Brady fan, and everyone's going to yell at me for saying that, but that's fine. I'm a big Jameis Winston fan. I still am. But I want to see football. And there was that big thing that happened in baseball where they're worried it's going to travel into NBA, NHL, and possibly even the NFL with cardboard cutout fans and everything like that. And it's weird watching a sport with literally no fans. Like WWE did it. And now they have their people that are training to become future WWE people sitting in the stands. And it's weird. It literally is weird watching something with no fans because the crowd is what gets you pumped up into a game.
Absolutely. And I've noticed they've been pumping in crowd noise to try to help with watching the game on TV to make it feel like there's fans cheering when a ball is hitting baseball and things like that. And speaking of baseball, Tampa Bay Rays are 3-1, got a big victory against the Atlanta Braves, 14-5, I believe, and they played today at 6:40. So make sure to support your Tampa Bay Rays, everybody, and watch them and check them out. They won the series 3-1 with the Toronto Blue Jays just a couple days ago. But as you said, well, yeah, it's weird with no fans, but we got to adapt to the new norm. People don't like that word.
I know.
It's the new norm. That's what people did with
It's
exactly what the people, as you explained earlier, had to deal with in the early 1900s with the Spanish flu or the bird flu, as you said earlier. I guess they had to wear a mask and things like that when they had to go about their daily lives. I believe there were some photos and things like that, black and white photos of people wearing masks and try to adapt back then. It's the same thing now. You got more modern technology. And I believe somebody just, James Berry just posted a comment in here, vaccine for COVID in the third phase should be ready for distribution. January 2021, people need to read this news. Yes, James Berry. And on top of that, you bring me to something else I want to put up on top of the Feeding Tampa Bay. Go to The Cure Is In You and donate blood and give your antibodies away to help somebody else get this COVID-19 cure, and use your antibodies in your body if you came into contact with COVID already. The Netflix can better explain you because I am not a CDC expert. I am not a health expert. But the short version of this is you have antibodies in your blood that already know how to deal with the virus if you've been exposed to it, and it could help somebody else that doesn't and could help get the cure. That's the short version of it. That's the short version of it. And I'm not an expert. That is all from CDC, and I've learned that from somebody else. So I'm not an expert whatsoever. James Berry also says not a Brady fan.
I've been kind of distant from Bucs Report, and it's not you guys. I've been dealing with my own thing, which you've been paying attention on Facebook. Everything that was going on with my dad. My father passed away, and my father literally was like my best friend.
Right.
Like, honestly, he was. And when he passed away, it literally hit me like a freight train. And I literally didn't want to have contact with anybody. My fiance was trying to get me out of the house, and I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to sit home. And I was watching, we had some stuff that my dad had where he had old Bucs and Packers games recorded on VHS that we moved to DVD because he's like, I don't have a VCR anymore. And I was watching them, and I was literally laughing, remembering stuff that we said when the games were going on, because we would always record the Bucs-Packer games because he was a Packer fan and I was a Bucs fan. But we would always record them and just laugh at each other when we would rewatch them the next day and laugh at each other going, do you remember when you said this? And it was just, we would always do that. And it was just something that him and I would always do.
And that's a good thing. That means that your dad hasn't ever left. His memories are always there, so he's never truly gone, and he always will.
My dad is still with me in spirit. I went and got a Brett Favre jersey just because my dad loved Brett Favre. My dad, like, for me, my all-time favorite player, non-Bucs player was Barry Sanders, but Bucs player was John Lynch. I almost became a Lions fan. But my grandparents corrected that and said, oh, you like Barry Sanders? Come watch a Buccaneers game and watch Barry Sanders play. And I became a Buccaneers fan. So thank my grandparents for that. I watched the Buccaneers get destroyed by the Lions, but I became a Bucs fan. Go figure.
Well, thank you. Out of their tragedy came you being a Bucs fan. But
dude, I'm a diehard Bucs fan. I love I bleed creamsicle orange and white, man. Seriously, red and pewter, whatever you want to call it, man. I love my Bucs. But what John Lynch is to me is what Brett Favre was to my dad. So, I got a Brett Favre jersey just so anybody that knows me and knows the bond that me and my dad had knows if I'm wearing my Favre jersey, okay, Frankie needs a hug. Will really needs a hug right now because he's going through some stuff. So, but anyway, do you think we're actually going to have a full season? Do you think it's going to go through, or do you think I'm honestly curious because I'm hearing it from both angles. I want your opinion on this.
Yep. In my opinion, you said the key word's a full season, and that is why you run through these protocols now. It's the goal to have a full season, not just to start up and stop at week 6 after you have a massive breakout. I believe it can be done. It's proven to work out so far with all the other sports. So NFL's kind of got a big light on it because you had the most time to prepare. You had the most time to sit and watch and wait if that's what you wanted to do or come up with plans. So if they fall flat on their face in this, they're going to take a whole lot of heat and they're going to lose a whole lot of profit margin. And it's there's a lot of pressure on them, but all that pressure could have been avoided with better prepping and better planning and better communication to your players. Mm-hmm. Because when the guys I've talked to, there's not a lot of communication coming from the big house, meaning the office of the NFL, getting information down to the players as far as how their safety is going to be secured, how they're going to handle it, what's the protocols after sitting back watching the NBA get complimented with $1 billion bubble while still getting paid and being prepared to play finish their season, so to speak. So
now they're just going to do a playoff run, right?
Correct. It's just to finish the season. Same thing as NHL.
Yeah. See, and if I remember correctly, I think my team's in the playoffs, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So I believe they're going to squeak in for the NBA. My teams are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of weird, being from Wisconsin, and I don't like a single team from here.
Well, you got the Milwaukee Bucks. They're one of the best teams in the NBA, so there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm a diehard Dallas Mavericks fan,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, "How can you like the Dallas Mavericks? They were horrible." And like going through high school, all my teams were horrible. Like I liked the Cubs, they were horrible. I liked the Bucs, and they were horrible. And the Dallas Mavericks, and they were horrible. And the only team that was doing anything that was any remarkably well was the Blackhawks. And the other three teams were just like, yeah.
Right.
And so, I mean, my senior picture was me and all my Bucs stuff. I'm like, remember me when we finally win it all. You know how many calls I got from all my buddies in high school? Dude, your team won.
Yep.
I told you, man. I'm a diehard Bucs fan, man. So
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna let you get going, man. It was great catching up with you. I love your show, man. I love everything. Sorry I've been distant.
It's all good, Will.
Dude, you keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Yeah, Will. I'll keep rocking right here on Sports Talk 49. God bless. Stay safe, Will.
You too, buddy.
Little man, everybody. Everybody knows him. Known caller. Phone line still open, 727-475-1882. If you're just tuning in, I'm Blake Anthony. This is Sports Talk 49, live every Tuesday at 3:30 for now, to the season at least. I mean, I'll update you past that. Doing pre and post game stuff. Well, pre and post game prep to the next game and all that fun stuff. Oh, all right. Like you said, the full season is really the word. The full season is really what the strive is for, having a full season and getting through with people being healthy, people being adequate to finish the year off and things like that. And you're going to have to do that with prepping, planning, and execution. And that's the only way it works. And as I stated earlier, the NFL has had its chance to sit back, analyze, and come up with a plan and execute that plan. So now the chips are on the table. Camp is officially open. It's July 28th. And you got players coming in testing positive, which is suspected. If people really suspected people to just come in and nobody being positive COVID-19, you had high expectation, which isn't a bad thing, but it wasn't realistic. So now when you get hit in the face, you got to go back to what you guys were planned on doing to handle the situation. You offer the opt-out options with high-risk people and low-risk people. You quarantine your player, you put them on IR, offer the IR option. And then when they're allowed to come back, they can come back to camp when they test negative. And that's how it's going to work. And a lot of these guys, and the issue is that these guys are allowed to go home every day. And you're asking young men with millions of dollars in their pocket not to be able to go out and flaunt, not to be able to have girls and people come by their house when you're in a new town where people have never been in this area and they got to adapt to this Florida nightlife. And I've said this to the guys at Bucs Report here, and I speak as a player. It's really different coming from somewhere that you're not accustomed to a lot of these things, a lot of these distractions that are here in Florida. And it's going to be tough for some of these guys to not give in to sin. I'll just say, not really using it as a religious point. I'm just saying is to fall into bad habits and get yourself into trouble and get penalized and suspended and things like that. So it's going to be tough for young men to do that. James Barry, I said Barron. Donovan Smith opts out this year, kind of worried about filling his vacancy. Maybe worse, but a rookie blocking the blind side makes me worry, especially since he primarily played right tackle in college. James, you think just like me. He's played right tackle his entire career. Why move him somewhere where he's uncomfortable on the highest level that he can possibly be as far as his professional football career? I don't think it's a good idea, even though you're running 12 personnel and you could chip every play, but you can't do that every play because those tight ends eventually got to get downfield and give Brady passing options. So you can't do that you can do that every play, but you need to have a backup plan. And the backup plan needs to be Jason Peters, as I've said several hundred times. The guy can still play. And if you need him, if he leaves and you need an addition, you can add Jason Peters, which I believe is not signed currently. I'm not mistaken. If not, somebody can update me, but I believe he's still unsigned. That would be a great addition and could fill for the year. Also, if Donovan Smith opts out, it would kind of hurt re-signing Lavonte David, because I'm not sure how this contract is going to work out. Will he still not be owed? Because the thing about this year and next year is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have dead cap on Donovan Smith if they decide to move on from him. In 2021, they owe him no dead cap, so they can move him without no discourse or without worry about dead cap and penalties. So now if he opts out, and if that continues on to 2021, I wonder how that will affect everything. Again, I don't have all the answers when it comes to these contracts and things like that. I'm learning just as much as everybody else is. It's going to be interesting on how to re-sign Lavonte David, how to re-sign Shaq Barrett, and how to bring in other guys to fill spots that you need to fill in. Jason Pierre-Paul will be up at the end of 2021. So the Bucs will have money available in the future, but it's interesting how money's getting moved around with this whole opting out thing and things like that, which is kind of messing with my head a little bit with the numbers. And I just like some more clarity once things get rolling. Do the Bucs re-sign Dotson if Wirfs goes to left side? Ooh, well, Dotson could play left tackle. I think he was asked to play left tackle at one point in time, James. And I'm not sure what condition Damar Dotson is in. I think that's the only question. I don't think anybody knows what kind of health condition he's in. Has he been working out? Because I would be ashamed to put him in there and he's not up to par. You're almost better off going with a young rookie and working him in trial by fire. Get you some guy that you feel confident in, that can handle the edge rush enough for Brady to get the ball out, which Brady will. He's got his quick release and makes his quick reads and adjustments. So I believe that's where all that is going to be. So, that's going to be interesting. That's really the question, James, what you're going to do. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do have a fail-safe plan just in case that happens. As I said earlier, I just think Donovan Smith is being really immature at this point in time. There's two parts to that, and I know Peter's going to ream him a new one on his show 9 o'clock tonight, and I'll say it early, Peter, if you're watching. Donovan Smith, the fact that you're holding on and not making your decision or whatever you're going to do, you're giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers less time to go get somebody to replace you so you can be with your family, which you have a 100% right to be with your newborn. You have 100% right to secure her safety and her health and her well-being. Absolutely. Just make your decision. Don't make your decision sitting here basing it off of arguing with people on Twitter, people you don't know. Make your decision so the Tampa Bay can go on and make their moves and get the adjustment going with the camp coming in. Because if you truly care about your teammates and you truly care about the progression of this team, then this decision should be easy for you. You're either going or you're going to stay. So they can move on, because sitting in limbo is not helping anybody. The longer you wait, the less opportunities that you have. Are you going to wait until Jason Peters signs or somewhere else and then declare you're coming out? Or are you trying to I don't understand that train of thought just to get back at people on social media. It's kind of what people were big on messing with Gerald McCoy about, getting so sensitive with people on social media. You got to learn. I'm sure the NFL gives classes on things like this about social media and contacting people and things like that. You got to separate yourself and don't even read most of that stuff. So don't even get caught up in that, Dom. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Blake Anthony live on BucsReport.com every Tuesday at 3:30, talking about all the topics that you see above. And it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit to talk about, because from week to week to talk about these things. James, you're killing it today. Starting corners, James says starting corners, starter corner is going to be Carlton Davis and Jamal Dean. What happened with Justin Evans with drafting of Winfield? The fact that Arians keeps saying he's on course means he's not on course. Something's going on. That's my opinion. Winfield gives some more security, so you don't have to rely on undrafted players and older players like Darian Stewart and Andrew Adams that they had to bring back because of injuries. Winfield can play both in the box and over top, and can play some slot, which mainly will Murphy Bunting will play a lot at. Jamel Dean will be likely on the outside along with Carlton Davis, and I think it'll be a mix between Murphy Bunting and Dean on the outside. But if you're going to say starters, I believe it's going to be Dean and it's going to be Carlton Davis on the outsides with Murphy Bunting in the slot position. That's my opinion. I kind of agree with you on that. But as far as Justin Evans, there really isn't much going on with Justin Evans right now. Everything is the bird is the word right now. There's nothing's going on because there's nothing going on. So it's sad that you spent a second-round pick on another safety that's not playing. It just seems like bad things happen all the time. Like when Tampa Bay starts to get good things going, and something bad happens like that. Like I think one of the biggest deficits to like something like a virus and things like that, and infections was I know myself was ecstatic to have Carl Nicks on this team. With his big body dominator for the Saints for many years at the guard position, and not ever seeing that happen because of it's slipping my mind, because of MRSA, and then here we are faced again years later, post Shiano era, enter Arians era, facing COVID-19 and dealing with those situations and things like that. HRQ Jaron, new ball hockey safety, absolutely. If you're talking about Winfield, I call them Sky Marshals. I give the secondary a nickname. I'm calling them the Sky Marshals. So everybody else got nicknames, Legion of Boom, etc., etc. I call them the Sky Marshals. James Berry, think Haig overtakes Kappa at right guard. Man, that is going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a very tough battle. There's going to be competition because he could play tackle too. I believe I'm not sure if he can play center, but he has played all over that offensive line as he did in the Colts. I believe it was 2018, 2017 when the Colts went to the playoffs. Yeah, 2017 when the Colts went to the playoffs with Andrew Luck pre his retirement, and played very well. Was rated one of the highest ranked offensive linemen in the NFL, and that Colts offensive line took a whole 180 from previous errors from Andrew Luck playing behind and getting beat up behind a depleted offensive line in Indianapolis to compare to now. And I know a lot of guys ain't big on him because he comes out of a North Dakota State, not a small school. Do I think he's going to be an all-pro, a stud? It's possible. He has every possibility to be that. That is up to him and him alone to work that hard and get that status for himself. He's a young man, and it could be a great addition to Tampa Bay because having depth on the offense and defensive line are very adequate. I mean, we're very essential to any team and helps success in the league. As I said several hundred times before, John Lynch has turned that San Francisco team around very quickly, and just the additions of offense and defensive linemen every draft, and solidifying your front fours, or your front guys up front, the hog mollies, and then just pick and play and adding here and there with free agents and wide receivers and things like that, and then you pick up a game managing quarterback. So H.R. Coon Smith, everybody's going to be dealing with Rona, if at all. Get it out the way now, developing Buccaneer herd immunity. A lot of people say that everybody catch it, et cetera, but it's not that simple. I mean, if it was that simple with the herd immunity, that helps. Having a vaccine helps too. And again, the cure is in you. If you guys don't know about that, give your blood, give your antibodies, help somebody else so you can get herd immunity and help people get the vaccines and get the antibodies in their body to help fight the cure, so we don't dealing with this outbreak as much. Because again, what was the name? HR. Everybody is affected by it differently. Asymptomatic. Some people have died. I've known somebody who's personally died from COVID-19 now. Last week, I've officially known somebody that's died from COVID-19. A lot of people can't say that, but I officially know now. I can officially say that, because before I didn't. I just heard stories, but now I personally know somebody that's died from COVID-19. So everybody else is affected differently from it. So you can't just say, "Oh, let's give it to everybody." Well, what about? Are you cool with affecting your kid like that? Are you cool with that? Somebody else may not be. Somebody else might not be with their infant being cool with contracting COVID-19. Like, you gotta be careful. I get your point, but you gotta be careful for the things that you wish for, because you don't know how it exactly affects everybody else. And all these guys are grown men, but they have hereditary issues, family issues that COVID might kill them. They might bring a COVID home on their clothing and get somebody at home sick that's high risk. So it's tough. I know everybody just wants everything to be back to normal, but the way you get through these things is supporting everybody and being supportive and respecting how they feel, having empathy and respecting how they feel, and putting aside our self beliefs and self wants and things like that. And that's how we get through this. And hopefully the vaccine will be here, as James was saying earlier, by January 2021. James, keep Justin Watson and Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller is the speediest receiver on the team, so I don't suspect him being gone. As I said, Justin Watson can be a lot like Hogan. He can be a lot like Hogan for the Patriots years ago. Chris Hogan, I believe it was, and was very successful in New England's offense. Justin, HR, no worst case scenario. No, I got you, HR. That's why it's a process for sure. Yeah, I got you, man. I wasn't like coming at you directly. I was just speaking like a broad thing while answering your question. You're good, man. I wish it was that simple, but it's not. And like I said, we just got to be supportive of people and set aside as much as you guys want to see sports. Well, you're getting some sports now, as much as you want to see the NFL, college football. Speaking of college football, I'm a Tar Heel. You want to see Tar Heel? I want to see MJ Stewart play well. I want to see Mac Brown. Got one of the third best draft class in college sports, 2 years coming into UNC. So I want to see that stuff with all these 5-star recruits he got coming into North Carolina, putting North Carolina on the map. Yeah, I'm a Tar Heel. Say what you want. I know it's a basketball school, but so what? It's the home of Michael Jordan, The Last Dance. What was I talking about? I get so caught up talking about college football. James Berry, who do Bucs use at kick returner this year? They should try Scotty Miller. Like you said, he's the fastest man on the team. Just because you're the fastest doesn't mean you can find holes and make the right reads to get upfield. I wish that was that simple, that every fast man could just find the end zone, which you and I both know, James. That don't work like that. I don't think he was really I'm trying to remember him at Bowling Green, how he did at Bowling Green at kick returning. I think when they had him, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like stellar. I mean, could you try him at it? Absolutely. But Tampa Bay definitely needs to up their returning situation, punt and kick return. It's always something that's always fallen by the wayside in Tampa Bay and has never really been addressed. Maybe Raymond Calais comes out there and returns kick. He's a real speedy guy, small guy, shifty guy, could be really good at kick returning. Return kicks out there at Louisiana Lafayette. So it's possible. Oh, I already see that. You caught my eye, Lawrence Taylor, Tar Heel. Yes, I know that, James. Trust me, I know that. LT, baby. Changed linebacking forever. Yes, I know that. Lawrence Taylor. Looking for one of them jerseys somewhere to hang up. Tar Heel. And Julius Peppers, too. Always Julius Peppers. Even though he was a Panther for many years, Julius Peppers. We got 5 more minutes till we're out of here. If you guys want to call in, 727-475-1882, by all means, call in. Again, if you just tune in, I appreciate you guys checking out the show today. I'm Blake Anthony. This is Sports Talk 49 live every Tuesday at 3:30, giving you guys all the latest news and everything. And you guys always make sure to check out all these other great shows here on Bucs Report. I'm not going to read through all of them, but do make sure to check those out here. Because those guys, we got a full Tuesday schedule here with everybody coming out. Julius Peppers beat me. Yeah, Julius Peppers was a savage, man. Julius Peppers was an absolute monster. I remember when he went to Chicago with Lovey. I mean, he just dominates the line of scrimmage, and the announcer said, whatever you're paying Julius Peppers, I think it was John Gruden, whatever you're paying Julius Peppers, it ain't enough. Guy is just an absolute monster, obviously a Hall of Famer. And those are kind of defensive end and athletes that you want to get on your team. Hence why I made that metaphor with Khalil Mack earlier about trading for guys at that caliber. Where we at? me go back to my notes to make sure we got through everything. We talk about Rays. The Rays are doing great, starting off fast, getting it done. They play today, the Atlanta Braves at home with no fans at 6:40 at Tropicana Field, looking to extend their only one loss to the Blue Jays in a close game, comeback game, down 6 runs early. Support the Rays. Check them out. Coming off almost going to the World Series last year, making the playoffs and doing very well all season. Make sure to check out the Rays. I know Tampa Bay Rays, a huge Rays supporter. Peter Blake and all these guys. I know him and Ray always go back and forth talking about the Rays. And here you go, the Rays starting hot, and we'll keep it going. Stop like a northern starting hot like a Boston accent. Starting. I'm not from there, by the way. I'm Alaska native. Alaska. Lived there, born. I was raised, well, until I was 12. So, yeah, make sure to check those guys out. Wait for NBA to come up. And keep following Bucs Report with all this great content coming out. Make sure to check out Al Keck at 8 o'clock. Make sure to check out Peter Blake following right behind him. Make sure to check out Joshua Cole Allen and all the other great guys here. Too many to name. Alex Fleming and Nick Citro and all these guys and Joshua Cole Allen. I couldn't say that you guys have supported a greater group of guys trying to evolve and give you guys all the content that we could possibly give with player interviews and all these things, and being where we all came from, and we all offer different kind of things here on Bucs Report, and we try to do stuff that you like and incorporate things like that, Madden videos, scenarios and things like that, to try to get you guys off not having jobs and not having things like that. But speaking of that, let me go back into this. Hit me up on social media to get your, cover my mic, Mike Evans pewter stitched authentic jersey for just donating to Feeding Tampa Bay, whatever you can donate. And the drawing will be done August 1st. And I will do it on my next show, show you the drawing, well, who the winner of the drawing was. Yep, and that should be good by then. Yep, I was looking at the calendar. To donate, if you want to donate or don't know how to, make sure to hit me up, reach me at any of my social media that you see down below. I got the ticker going by, so it's kind of blocking it. I'll cover it. Blake Anthony 40 to Blake Anthony 49 at both IG and Twitter, and you can find me there. And reach out to me if you want to donate and be a part of that. And you can win a XL Mike Evans jersey for donating $5, $10, $15, $25 or whatever you want to donate, or $100, whatever you can afford at these times, because everybody's situations are different. And that's all you got to do is just basically donate and contribute, and then you're automatically in. You have a chance to win that jersey, and I can reach out to you and you have 24 hours to respond before I move on to the next person and mail that out to them. But again, we're wrapping it up here. Appreciate you guys checking me out every Tuesday at 3:30. Make sure to tune in to Al Keck and Peter Blake coming up here at between 8 and 12 p.m. They'll be giving it to you 110%, as they always do. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, don't forget to check out the A Gap at between 7 and 8 o'clock, exclusively YouTube. Check them out. They'll be awesome. All these guys here giving 110%, giving out their schedule and doing all that. But we'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you, guys. God bless. Donate to Feeding Tampa Bay. Win that jersey. Stop letting me sit here and let me give it away to somebody, for God's sakes. Donate. FindTheCure.com. Donate your blood so people can find the cure for this coronavirus, and we can get over this and get back to not the new norm, the mask era, mask on, mask off era, and take the mask back off when we get the vaccine going. Appreciate you guys, and as always, fire those cannons. Stay tuned at Bucs Report all the time. Peace.
doing? Mike here from Tires to Go, and today I'm going to inform you about the amazing tools that Tires to Go provide to get the customers what they need. As you know, we have the real same as cash, but we also have Snap financing. We use Snap pretty much to provide the customers the same equipment as they were buying cash on payments. Isn't that amazing? Pretty much what we do, you come indoors, we get you the application right away, we'll get you approved, and we'll get you the safe, affordable tires that you need and pay it off in 3 months. Simple, easy, affordable. Why not come to Tires to Go, where you get the real, same as cash.
At Life's a Beach Realty, we're all about life on the beach. Stunning Panama City Beach and one of the most beautiful properties on the Gulf Coast, Shores of Panama. Radiant, elegant, and spectacular. Steps away from white sugar sand, every room overlooks the turquoise of the Gulf of Mexico. Come in for your tour today. Life's a Beach Realty is your gateway to Shores of Panama, the shores, and a whole lot more.